Okay, good.
Okay. We'll call to order the properties and zoning committee meeting. Roll call is Dave Bowers is here, Phil Kalin is present. In person, Marvin Williams is present. And I guess we need to know on Zoom, do we have any other properties members present?
Dave Balance.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
But we do have a number on here. I'm not sure who it is. 815-213-0998. Could you tell us who 815-213-0998?
Greg Saunders.
Greg?
Yes. Thank you.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Visitors, and I know, Courtney, you have a time constraint, so, I know we will be looking at zoning and informationally they'll be presenting the solar petition to the county board, but I would want to give you some time here before you have to leave, so.
Thank you. My name is Courtney Kennedy. With me today is Amber Miller and Keith Bowen. We're here on behalf of Aldina Solar LLC. I have court at the new courthouse at 11, so I apologize for rushing through this, but we just wanted to be here to answer any questions that you may have. We submitted a petition for special use permits and 3 variance requests. We did appear before the ZBA. There were 5 nights of actual evidence testimony and then 2 additional nights of a fact-finding session by the board. Ultimately, there was a 5-0 vote to recommend the project, and we just want to be here to answer any questions that anyone may have.
So are there any questions for Courtney?
Thank you.
Okay, and you're welcome to hang out if you want.
Okay, thank you.
If you leave, that's fine as well. So, approval of the minutes from the previous meeting, any additions or corrections to the previous minutes? So, maybe the
Move to approve as posted.
routine would be approved as posted. Visitors, we kind of started with that. Charlie, you have anything for us now?
No, sir.
David, anything for us?
Not right now. Sometime during the meeting, I certainly do.
Okay, what I would say is if it's related to the solar thing, now would be the time, because we have the resources here.
Actually, it is not related to solar. I'll be right up front with you. I'm concerned about our zoning process. I am not going to talk about the solar, what has transpired. I can tell you what, as a personal experience, but that's as far as I would go with it. So if you want to want me to talk about my concerns with our process, I can do that now or I can do it later.
I would say now.
Okay, you're catching me kind of cold here.
Well, yeah, normally we take visitors' comments up front, so.
And I've thought considerably about how I'm going to present this. Because I don't want it to be looking like, oh, Dave Gussie's bitching. I really don't want that. At the same time, the only way that a person can honestly try and assess a situation is to have experienced it. My concern is not so much with the solar project as I am with the process and the way that we allowed so much information to come in from one side and so little from the other. Now, what do I mean? As I understand it, don't take my word for it for sure, but as I understand it, the Amboy school system voted in, to promote this project in June. The people that were involved with it, by that I mean adjacent landowners and this sort of thing, and there's five people that are directly involved with this thing, 5 different households. Actually, there's 6. We didn't get the notice until 15 days before. Now, I don't know how the rest of you feel, but I would dare say that you'd be pretty well upset with a 15-day notice. It was legal by our definition, by our zoning ordinance. But it sure doesn't pass muster as far as allowing the fairness doctrine, do unto others before they do it to you. That's kind of the way this thing was done. And believe me, gentlemen, that is not the way I look at things. Now, am I being altruistic? I don't think so. But here's what I would like to have the zoning committee think about. One of them, we need to slow down this process, because basically the way the zoning ordinance is written, it is like a 4-lane highway straight to Lee County. 15 days notice, absolute secrecy, all the ducks in order, and then the people that are directly infected have 15 days to try and come up with some sort of reasonable response. It's quite obvious we weren't able to. That's planned. These companies aren't dumb. They're going to take the low-hanging fruit right off the bat. And believe me, fellas, we are low-hanging fruit with the way that we have things set up. We have a 7-page document. Oakland County's got a 28-page document. Now, I am sure that those pages are not filled with X's and O's. There are specific things. I think you need to consider, what are the setbacks? What should they be? I'm not going to say what I think they should be. I've got an opinion, but I don't. That's not my point. My point is there is nothing in there about setbacks. There is we need to have at least a 60-day warning that this is coming. We've had, what you have right now is basically set up for a 160-acre farm. If the guy wants to, he wants to put out a solar project, there's a phrase in there, and the zoning board acted on it that says that we certify that this is over 2 acres in size. Yeah, 600% bigger in size. Gentlemen, you have to do something about this zoning ordinance. Furthermore, I think we need to have a moratorium on any of these projects. Either this project, the Aldina thing, goes up or down. And we can't have a moratorium on that because the zoning thing has already been held. There are other things out here that is much bigger than that that are basically like a train, kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. And if this board doesn't do something about it, basically Lee County is going to turn in to a solar thing. And boy, isn't that gonna be fun to go out and see? John, won't Diane love to go out and show all of these solar farms? I've been waiting for 2 weeks to sell you that. I mean, we've got, you people have, as I see it, you people have an opportunity to decide exactly what do you want from Lee County. There were things that were ignored in that application that Geronimo had. There were things that were overlooked, bypassed, and the whole bit. The agriculture, the AIM part was never signed. There was no reference to the Lee County Soil and Water Conservation District report that indicated that there's problems. There was no direct involvement as far as the Lee County Comprehensive Plan. Now, I really think that you have a real responsibility. This is not child's game. This is the future for the next 50 or 60 years. And if you don't grab a hold of it now, it's gone. Because I can just about bet you that within a year, there will be at least 5 or 6 different projects that'll come steamrolling in here. And what are you gonna do about them? And if the county board can't show some backbone and say, wait a minute, we've got a problem and we need to address it. If you address it and you decide, you know what Gussie is saying is crazy, so be it. I have no problem with that. My problem is that we've got one and we don't choose to face it. Now, I've said all I was going to say. I've said it more than I thought I was going to say.
Thank you, Dave.
Can I speak to that?
Sure.
The situation is, a lot of that was inquired about first. Proper procedure, and you're a former county board member, is you first go to the planning commission. Bill O'Keefe is the chairman. Chris Henkel is the vice chairman. Both have been contacted. There is a meeting that's going to be got together by the planning commission. The zoning board does not have the ability or the statutory power
I
to
understand
change the zoning ordinance. The planning commission is who sets up the overall economic plan. They're the ones that will modify it if they feel it's necessary. And they will be meeting here shortly. Ms. Duffy's contacted Mr. O'Keefe, and that's all in line.
But the county's properties and zoning committee is also a place that needs to be a body that needs to be involved. Because they're the ones set the rules.
That's not true. The planning committee is who would assess the overall economic plan and determine if that zoning ordinance needs changed.
Well, who
If at
wrote the
that
zoning
time,
ordinance
then
in the
they
first
change.
place?
What's that?
Who wrote the zoning ordinance in the first place?
Well, I would have to assume the planning.
You're
They
assuming.
Okay, Charlie,
I think Matt Klein was part of that.
Matt Klein was part of it. I mean, it isn't just them specifically, they have other people assisting them. But I'm saying, we are going through the process. Process may not be exactly what you want, Dave, but that's the process.
Well,
And that's
all I'm saying
It's
is that
already being done.
since when when is all of this taking place then, John?
When?
Yeah,
It's in the process of being done. Now, ask Ms. Duffy. She has contacted Mr. O'Keefe. He's the one who starts the ball rolling by calling the meeting of the planning commission. They assess the overall economic plan. And if they deem that solar farm ordinance or the solar farm zoning needs change, they start that
You
too.
mean the county board has no say on how it's going to be written?
I don't know that process, but I'm fine, but I know the planning committee is a place to start.
They're the subject matter experts.
Then I would certainly hope that I would have an opportunity to address the planning committee.
I'm sure you
We're
will.
all public meetings.
They're all public meetings.
I was involved.
Were you?
Is that meeting been set or is that remain yet to be set? Okay. So that meeting, there'll be a public notice at least 48 hours in advance and the public is able to attend that for sure.
Well, I certainly would hope so.
It's all open meetings.
All I need to do is know when.
I believe I can address two of the points that Mr. Gussie raised. The first, with respect to that, it's an agricultural impact mitigation agreement. We refer to it as the AMA. The state statute has set out two different procedures for both the wind AMA and the solar AMA. So for the wind AMA, you're required to enter into that agreement with the Department of Ag prior to the first ZBA hearing. Solar is treated much differently. By Illinois statute, which is set by the legislatures in Illinois, you cannot enter into the AMA until 45 days prior to construction. So the fact that the AMA was not signed is not dispositive of anything. We're just not required to
Okay,
at that
but that
stage.
was not pointed out, Courtney, and you know it.
Sure. No, and I understand that, Dave. I want to let you know. The second point, Illinois statute sets out when notices can be sent. They're sent out by certified mail, return receipt requested. The way the statute reads is it can be sent out no more than 30 days, not less than 15. There were 2 rounds of certified notices that went out between the 30 and 15 day mark.
I got one notice.
There were 2 that were sent out. They have to be signed and picked up at the post office. I can attest, I send them out in advance of the 15-day mark because I try to allow them time to get to the post office to sign them. And that's set out by state statute as well.
In either case, that's not enough time.
And that is a question to take up with the Illinois legislature then, in my opinion, because it's the state statute that sets
Okay,
that
and
out.
then there's another thing, you talk about the differences between solar and that, and I understand that,
Sure,
not necessarily agree with it
sure.
at all. So anyway,
We don't have a lot of latitude of ignoring state statute. We have no.
No, I know that.
I would advise you against it.
Yeah. Thank you.
well, I'll tell you this, 30 days sure is a hell of a lot better than 15. And I'd sure like to know where the second notice came from, or the first one, because I got one. So I don't care how many you sent out. I got one notice, one.
Oftentimes, if they're not picked up in the amount of time the post office sends them back. So I'm not saying that's what happened, but that's a possibility of what could have
You know
happened.
what? That really is not my concern. My concern is the people didn't know.
Anything else, Dave?
No, I guess I'm, certainly I hope you guys realize, I don't talk about this lightly. I find this very disturbing. That people don't have the opportunity to defend themselves. And I think that you as a board need to be aware of this. And if it means that I've got to go through the planning commission, I'll be more than happy to do it. But I'd sure like to know when they are going to meet, because I will be there, come hell or high water.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Dave, if I may. As legal counsel for the county, for this committee, I'm instructing you to, what you hear that may be a part of what happened during the zoning board, that's already done and over with. You can't take any more facts, you can't
That's
take
right.
any application of what's going on here. You just need to understand that if there's comments like this, you take it as what you may want to change in the future. Everything that was done during that hearing was done legally, and that's what you need to understand.
there's a difference between legal and ethical. And don't you ever forget it.
So later in our agenda, we have those petitions that, and we're not taking action on it. They're for information and the full board will take action on it. So we can have comment, as Mr. Boothray.
There is one thing though that I think that you as a committee could do, and that is to talk among yourself and decide, you know what, maybe we need to slow things down a wee bit. And that can come through this committee. Because you're the one, the county board is the one that is going to have to do this. One other little I'm going to give you two other little figures. The amount of money that you're talking about the county's going to get is $153,000 per year. Now, you and I all both know how far that'll go. The other thing is, there's not a baseball player that's playing that bats 170, right? That's the efficiency of our solar collectors.
Okay. Thank you, David.
I'm done. You let me know when that planning committee is.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
And I appreciate your time, I really do.
Thank you for your time. Judy, anything for us now?
I don't,
Anything for, no? Okay. Nope. Mike? Nope. Did I, Mike? Anything for committee?
No. Just to point out, Dave, Greg and, the sheriff both joined.
Okay,
Just an FYI.
thank you. Okay, back to our agenda. Claims. So starting with animal control. What if I read it? Oh, good, yeah, Dave's the guy.
Claims we're on animal control.
Yep,
The city of Dixon, $41.69. $41.69.
no, he's got sheets.
These got sheets, these are other ones, oh,
Yep,
okay.
those are the other two.
They're not. Next for Wind City Energy for $60.04. Johnson Oil for $105.85. For Verizon, $110.02. For ComEd, $221.30. For US Bank, $7.75. For Republic Services, $33.23. For FedEx, $72.96. For Pitney Bowes, $319.44. That's the end of what I got.
Total, $972.28.
97228.
Right.
Animal control. First is for US Bank for $12.98. Receipts are included. Next. Vendor number, let's see.
Petty cash reimbursement.
Yeah, okay, reimbursement of petty cash, $68.29.
Total, $81.27.
8127, thank you.
For pet population, Amboy Veterinary Hospital at $670.
And that's the total, $670.
Okay, for maintenance. First one for CenturyLink, $56.62. For ComEd, for the new courthouse, old sheriff's department, old courthouse, old jail. $13,790.42. Again, for CenturyLink, for Lee County Courts Building, $1,098.82. CenturyLink, custodial and rabies, $421.62. ComEd for the new jail, $4,556.76. For Home Depot Pro for supplies, $677.52. Next for Tower Site for Lee County for $17.69. For Aramark, new jail and new courthouse, $311.88. Home Depot for new supplies, $119.28. Home Depot for new supplies again for $164.48. Home Depot for supplies again for $2,163.87. For Nicor, county account number doesn't say what building. for $384.61. For CenturyLink for Lee County Supervisor's Telephone, Lee County Supervisor's Telephone, $973.75. Old Hennepin Jail for night court for $48.67. Cerrone for the new courthouse annual HVAC inspection of all air conditioner units, $3,113.35. Okay, I'll staple together all the file receipts with US Bank. For supplies for $3,181.04. Home Depot Pro for supplies, 3 bills, total of $676.34. ComEd for the old courthouse, the 4th Street property, the new courthouse, and the old law center, and another account for the old law center. We'll get two in there. For a total of $12,718.57. Dixon Water Department for the new jail, 3rd Street main maintenance shed, old courthouse, 4th Street property, and old law center, and the new courthouse. $2,124.14. For Wind City Energy, the old courthouse, new courthouse, old jail, for a total of $1,686.18. Cerrone bid for replacing air dryer for controls, $2,839.00. For Johnson Oil for gas, for a total of $286.49. Ace Hardware. Stack of receipts, are these all Ace? For the supplies, new jail supplies, $713.21. Ace Hardware is Lee County, for supplies, a total of $48.54. Home Depot Pro for supplies, $543.88.
Total, $52,716.73.
$52,716.73.
Yep.
Thank you.
Quick question here.
Oh, excuse me.
Do I need to rewrite the amount, or if it's correct, could we directly circle it or line it or something? Huh? What would be the legal?
I can handle it.
No, I'm reading it and writing it, and it's like, do I really need to write it? Yeah, the distance process makes it a little more difficult. Are you shuffling them all?
Nope.
Well,
I worked hard on those.
That would be counterproductive for all of us.
For all of us, very much so. Okay, Greg hasn't signed these yet, but that doesn't matter, does
No, he's on vacation. I'll catch him first then. when he gets back.
it? Okay. These are for lots, correct?
right,
All right, first one, Morningstar Media for $3,750.
well, that's the last one.
Okay,
But
we'll go the other way.
No, you're okay.
Yep.
Go ahead. There's just one more.
there's only one more.
There's only one
Yeah,
more.
go back. There should be two on that first part, the media stuff. One for 3750, one for 9500.
Right.
And, oh, I got, Ace Hardware is my next one.
Oh, no.
We will,
Hold on. Is there a second one attached to that? Just look at. There you go.
yeah. Okay. Morningstar Media for 9,500?
That's it. Total,
Mhm.
$13,250.
Okay, you want me to turn these around the other way?
Why don't you let me have that one?
Lots again for WIXN for 1,145. Where are we at? Or do I want to go the other way again?
What's your first one? No.
My first one is 4856 for supplies for.
Got it. Let's go that way. Dave did shuffle. Okay, the first one for Ace Hardware for supplies, $48.56. For Bright Space Productions for $850. For CenturyLink for $33.96. City of Dixon for 3 bills, or 2 bills, total of $74.66. Comcast for $457.53. For the reason I asked, I don't know if they could read my writing anyhow. Next is ComEd for $767.78. Culligan for $21.68. DC Computers for $89. Effect TV for $1,979. Foxter Solutions for $1,350. For Hughes Resources for $19,151.42. Account number, vendor number, I don't have the name.
Lee County Treasurer.
The county treasurer, okay.
Oh, then I put on there.
It says a vendor, yeah, Lee County, I guess, all right.
Oh,
Lee
okay.
County, that is, $920.
And another Lee County.
Yep, another one against Lee County for $374. Napa vendor for $1,029.56. Next for Nightcore Gas for $339.60. Next is a Penny Printing Company for $570. Next, we have one for Republic Services for $91.47. Next, Sauk Valley Media for $473. Next, for Toyota Financial Services for $419.91.
What's that one for?
Which one was it?
Toyota,
Automobile Toyota Financial Service.
It's our lease that we have with Toyota.
two paper clips here with US Bank.
Oh, yeah, one of them was just too big to staple.
Okay, they're all the same. US Bank with receipts for $845.23. WEX for $7,869.92. Next for Wind City Energy for $82.76. WRHL and WYOT Radio for $285. WIXN, WRCV, WSEY radio for $1,145. See it.
Total? $38,929.44.
38,929.44. Okay. So between those two for regular claims, they get a total of 52,179.44 and no capital improvement claims. So I'll pass the sheet out if you can sign it, please. So that concludes claims. Thank you, everyone. Moving on to department heads, Greg Saunders, you with us on Zoom. Anything at this time? Oh,
Approve claims?
yes, we do. Thank you. Okay, Bill,
Second.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Greg Saunders.
Says he's there, but
Gotta
No, there he goes.
There it is.
Greg?
says he's unmuted.
Greg Saunders, are you available for department head? We'll come back.
Can you hear me?
And now, thank you.
Okay. Just wanted to let everybody know we moved a truckload and a trailer load of e-waste today. If anybody has some that they would like to get rid of, now's the time to do it, because we're gonna try to maybe haul another load tomorrow, depending on what the highway department wants us to do. We have trouble getting rid of refrigerators and microwaves. I'm gonna have to look in to see what we can do to get rid of that, but we made a pretty good dent in it down here, so the only thing we have in this, we have a lot of the towers that have to have the hard drives taken out, so I'm gonna have to get with Zach and Mike and see if we can get that taken care of while we have the option to get rid of this stuff. And only other thing is we got Kevin all moved upstairs on the 3rd floor except for his desk. We're waiting for, last minute deal to, we're gonna put some rollers on his desk so they can just move it around and get it out of the way. Other than that, that's all I have.
Okay. Any questions for Greg? Planning and zoning, D, anything just on the agenda? Okay. Animal control, rabies and pet population, Terry's not with us on vacation, and she did provide our clients who didn't really have any particular updates. Working through the budgeting process, we've got some improvements that they're planning for next year in terms of inside kennel replacement and the outside kennel, putting an outside dog run in. So those are budget items, but no other items for animal control. Lots, Leogal transportation.
I don't really have any changes from last month's report, other than we will be starting construction on the canopy, either this week or next week. They have taken the front panels off, where the canopy will be done. But until they have the actual canopy pieces in from the manufacturer, we're not gonna start because we wanna mitigate how long our front
Sure.
lobby is out of commission.
Mhm.
We do have like a temporary shelter set up for passengers to stand under, as well as bathroom and wash station out there. And we're gonna put some signage out there, so customers are out there, they can call dispatch, and dispatch will just have to go outside and help the customer. And then the Department of Corrections will just deal with the guard, directly, when they come out. And they always email us ahead of time, but that's mainly where we have people coming from. But other than that, nothing has really changed, so. that's all I've got.
Questions for Kate?
I do have to step out and go get BGW, so I think that's the last thing we do is. Okay, awesome, thank you guys.
That's all the department heads. Moving on to old business. Greg Saunders, an update on the food pantry fire alarm system.
Well, now we've got a full staff, but now we have rotation and vacations right now. So as soon as I get everybody's heads on at the same job all day long, then we'll start getting caught up on that and get that fire alarm system in.
Okay.
Right now, I just want to get my help to get their vacations in before they lose them. And so everybody's working together, trying to rotate. So it's helping us out a lot.
Any comments on your new staff, and how that's working out?
At the old courthouse, I've had a lot of good comments so far from Tim and from the rest of the areas that Chris has been working at. He's been doing real well, and also we've had some good comments on Helen also.
Very good, thank you. The second item there, permanent sneeze guard and door installation at the assessor's and treasurer's office. Do you have an update for us there?
I do have the counter for Paula's area. She wanted me to wait till after tax season and things start slowing down for her, and then she's going to start moving some filing cabinets and things out of our way so we can get that in. I'm hoping that I can work that in when Dick's not on vacation. He can get that, cut in there, and we can get that new countertop set. Wendy, she has to order a new counter, but I think we're waiting for Dave to come remeasure to make sure what counter we're going to get is going to work for her.
Okay, we just need to keep it in mind that it's CARES related and that there's a deadline, so we do want to get this, and I know you know that, this is more for everybody else's information.
Sure.
But, okay, anything else on that? The third item C, old LEC demo and site preparation for future use shovel-ready grant application. We had a special full board meeting just prior to this one to approve the resolution for that. So that application will be being submitted to demo the old jail. Item D, Emergency Operations Center, third floor new courts building, finish the third floor expansion area. An update on that. I'll give a preliminary, and then if there's other comments from others, Ken, as Greg reported, we've emptied out the third floor expansion area, except for Kevin Lally desk and area. For the renovation, we're waiting final numbers from the general contractor, and that contract will be signed, and that work will start as soon as that is completed, and we expect that this week. I guess we can say too, we'll wait on that, John. Here. The next one, the land and wave upgrade of the old, I'm sorry, is there any other comments on the Emergency Operations Center, Sheriff or Greg?
Nope, nothing for me.
Okay. John Simonton, anything on it? Okay. Mike, I know you had mentioned some question of where the IT wiring was, and that is included in the general contractor scope, so we are not expecting IT to do that work.
Thank you.
Yep. I just wanted to let you read the side.
Thank you.
Yep. Moving on down. The land and waste upgrade for the old new courthouse, lots, animal control, and the county highway. That work with FESIC has started as of last week. They're rewiring. This building needs all new, Cat 6 cabling, and all new switches. So this building gets more of an upgrade than any of them. And that work is in progress. We expect it to go another couple weeks. And we're coordinating and appreciate, the cooperation in the building. With the election coming up, Kathy was very gracious to give us access to areas that we need to get in and kind of work around our time frame. So I think we can get this accomplished prior to her needing the areas and all of that. So appreciate that cooperation. The next, they'll move to the new course building, and there's new switches going in there and fiber between each of the floors on that. And that building does not need new cabling to each computer over there. So that's a smaller scope. Still working with the various vendors on fiber between these two buildings, and we still have some options to consider and which way we're gonna go on that. So, and the actual phone purchase, we're getting updated proposal on that with some better pricing. So that's where that stands. Any questions or comments on that?
What's the last thing you said you're working at?
On-
Prices on the phone?
Yeah, they're revising, because of the quantity that's involved, they were going back to the manufacturer of Avaya and to see if they could offer some better pricing. So. Disposition of old tables and chairs in the subcommittee conference room. So we did have, I think the clerk's office take advantage of one of the tables, just one.
I had one or two, I'm not sure what
Okay.
they ended up with.
So they'll stay here in the building, and we will work at dispositioning the others, first of all, to county departments if there's anybody that needs them.
Do you want me to send out the email?
Yes, please. And that's all I had on that. For new business, the new courts building Procom card reader expansion and door control. John, do you want to take that one? John Simonton? I think I can give a,
He's still there.
John, are you still there? I see you.
He's unmuted.
John Simonton, would you be able to speak to the Procom expansion port for the new courts building? Well, let me
That's
give,
right now.
we'll take a stab at it and he can join in.
Oh, he's unmuted.
Well, I think I can provide enough detail here, and maybe John will be able to join us in just a second. Regarding the EOC build out on the third floor, there's, I think, 5 card reader doors that are directly related to the EOC, where you'll have carded access to it, much as the rest of the building has. There's 5 new ones, and there's not expansion ports in the Procom system that allows for that. So John Simonton got a bid from Procom to allow us ability to expand that system. Most of that would be for the EOC. There's one card reader for the state's attorney's office that would not apply to the EOC, but most of it would be CARES Act reimbursable. So that's what that is. And I guess I would say we probably need an action just to pass that to finance for consideration. We need to do it, but I guess I would ask for a motion to pass this.
What's the price on that?
I think it was, that was what I was depending on.
Talk about Procom, Dave?
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I was on the other line and I had to mute myself. I didn't want to interrupt your meeting.
No.
Yeah, the first part of it, that we believe, would be safely covered under the COVID expenses are the, card readers for the doors adjacent to the EOC and from the outside as well. So you're looking at about 15 grand, I think, for those. It was 12 something, and then we added the outside alley door to that. And then the other readers are for the state's attorney's office and the 2 for the judges. that we're gonna try to separate how we wanna attack those.
So the total was what?
Okay, let me pull that up, the exact number for you.
Thank you.
So $12,927 for everything related to the EOC, including a new 16 gang panel, so that we have extra, and more opportunity if we find more doors in the future that we need to connect to that panel. Add to that the additional costs if we wanted to, they're optional add-ons. The exterior alley door that I talked about, it's $3,787. State's attorney's door would be $2,196. The two judges' chambers doors would be $5,159, and the server move, and that is a move from the old LEC to the new courthouse and to the chief bailiff's room, which we're gonna have to do anyway, depending on when you demolish the old LEC. That move is $604. So 12,927 plus those additional expenses. We separated them because we believe some are COVID related and others may be questionable.
So all those are additional, that's 20.
I think we can get the alley door in, Dave, at $3,787, because it will be access and egress to and from the EOC.
Will he have access through the gate? How does he have access through the fence out on the alley?
That's card reader, that already has a card reader.
Okay.
So the 12,927 and 3,787, we believe would be COVID related,
Yes.
and then the others would not. So I guess.
Yeah, and I think you can make an argument that they would be, because we're looking at, trying to, reduce as much hands-on with keys and things of that nature. And certainly from a security standpoint, from my perspective, I like the idea of having more card readers because we have less keys around then to lose. If somebody loses a card, I can shut it down in 5 minutes. So anyway, yes, I think the 3787 definitely fits in that. So you're probably looking at 13 plus 3787, so 16,787, approximately 16,700 annually for the EOC. And remember, that includes a new panel. That's why it's so expensive. We have to put a new panel in, because right now we're full.
And it does allow for some.
Does this panel allow for future expansion? Because I can see more and more of this in the future.
Yeah, that's why we went with 16, Dave, instead of 8. They go in increments of 8. So we can get 8, 16, so on and so forth. So we went to 16, so it gives us about 8 more slots for the future.
Only 8.
Yep.
So I'm looking for a motion to pass this to finance.
I'll second. And I have a question. A real quick question, John. Who's in charge of the cards, the key cards and the keys? This is kind of from the college I come from, they had a whole key area and a security list of, you had to be security to be in charge of that. Are you the one that handles all the cards, or who handles the cards and the keys and the making of the keys here?
We handle all the card readers at the sheriff's office.
At the sheriff's office.
So accessible here at the new LEC, and then chief bailiff room has access to either provide a new card, get it entered in the computer, but we have access only to the card readers. As far as the keys, it's between us and maintenance. And a lot of them have been handed out long before me. So where all those keys are and what they go to and who has them, I can't answer that specifically right now, but I know that maintenance and us have the master keys to all the buildings.
Well, therein lies my question in the future for the more slots, because I know at the college they went more and more cards faster than you can believe because of the key problem with so many students and everything, so. I guess just anticipating a future, if there's much more cost at this time, so.
Second item there, video conferencing for the boardroom and subcommittee room, meeting rooms. This is an opportunity, also would be COVID reimbursable because of the meeting, the Zoom meetings, we wouldn't be doing if it was not for the COVID situation. So I put this on here, we do not have yet PSIC is pricing this for us. And what I don't have an amount yet at this point, so there's pardon? Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, we did not, thank you. Let's back up, so we had a primary and a second, and this is related to the program card reader expansion. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Yes, thank you, Dave. Keep me straight.
No, absolutely, even.
Yep. So for the video conferencing and boardroom subcommittee, I would say finance will take that up. I think it's more informational at this point. There's not anything for us really to decide. Is there any concerns with adding video conferencing? I think it's likely to be here to stay, and it is an opportunity to get it paid for, possibly paid for with the COVID money.
Possibly. I like that word possibly, what you mean that by that?
Well, there's never any guarantees, and what I would say is there's a number of things that would apply, so, there'll be some decisions by finance of which ones we do, so we don't exceed the maximum. So we won't do it, and we're not gonna get a point where we're submitting more than we can be reimbursed for. And this, I think, is a very solid expense. We wouldn't have it if it were not for COVID. I don't think there's any question about it. So, once we get that.
You know, I talked to an IT specialist or somebody, his name, is it?
Like,
Right? Like the setup you have here, and then you have to record room, and it doesn't work really good. Is there a known setup that would work that they're coming out with to work for Zoom meetings and stuff?
That's what Dave was mentioning. PSIC does a lot of conference rooms, things like
Very
that.
common for
So-
business.
Yeah, so putting cameras, fixed cameras in there, and integrating with, monitors and integrating with the microphones.
Right,
Yeah,
better sound system. like,
yeah.
I've been on the Zoom side, and a lot of it's
Yeah.
really sketchy.
Yeah, if you could integrate, especially that big of a room, the integration with microphones is what we're, looking for. But yeah, we talked to PSIC and all that should be addressed in there, so.
It's either that or a better Wi-Fi system, so I can bring my own laptop into there.
We're doing all of that too, so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually, we were able to incorporate that for this building at least as part of the rewire. So instead of having one access point, it'll be 7.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's the right time and it fits in our rewire scheme. So that, we'll go to finance, we'll take that one up. New floor scrubber for the old courthouse, also potentially COVID. Greg Saunders.
Yeah, the old one that we have at the courthouse is an antique. It's just a scrubber. It doesn't really put water down and vacuum it back up. With the new one, we'd be able to actually put a solution down, clean the floor with it with a scrubber. We've got a big array of different types of scrubbers we can put on it for the floor, and it vacuums it up and squeegees it, as you're going by, so you don't leave a wet floor. It's dry when you're done. I priced one out at Home Pro, and they give me a price of $2,650 for a smaller unit, which would work perfect.
Okay.
So this is gonna be a sanitizer unit then, that's COVID related.
Great. Yes, it'll be a sanitizer bus. We can run a stripper in it.
It's a sanitizer, right? Oh, it's COVID related.
So I guess what I would be looking for there is a motion to pass this on the.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. this item D, new carpet, I have treasurer's and assessor's offices, and what I would say is those two areas do need some attention, but I know I tasked Greg Saunders with kind of prioritizing the areas, also considering the new course building, and I think it's Judge Klon's courtroom that they need some attention as well. So I said, essentially, this is a budgeted item. We have $10,200 in carpet replacement each year, and I would like to get the worst of the carpeting taken care of up to the budgeted amount this year. We don't really need an action here. This is already budgeted, but just for information, something we would be looking to do by the end of the year. The LEC security system maintenance contract recommendation for finance. John Simonton or Greg?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this, are you talking about the accurate controls?
Yes, the security
This one, Dave?
contract, yep, the long-term maintenance. Now, one thing I would add, I guess from our discussions with Ringland Johnson early on, I had in mind that they had offered to offer us more than a one-year contract on that equipment, and I did pass that off to Greg Stone, and he was gonna follow up and get back with us on that. But if that, I guess we'll have to see where that shakes out. But if it does turn out that we don't have an extended contract, I guess you could provide the details for us to consider.
Yeah, well, presently, and I don't want to take up a lot of your time, but we've been having a few glitches with the accurate controls in the jail. And so we've been working with them to try to address those. We just haven't had a full year of operation since, November 19th will be coming up on our first full year. So in my mind, that's when the warranty started, when we actually went operational with the system. In their mind, it started August 31st when we hit that substantial completion date, but it really wasn't in use. So we weren't able to troubleshoot some of the things that we've had an opportunity to do here in the last few months. So I have worked with them. They are working and doing the work that they have done under the warranty period, even though now we're in September. I've been trying to barter with them to at least go till the third week of October with this warranty when we had the actual training for the correctional officers. And so we'll see what happens there. I haven't got a word back from them yet. They did give me a quote for 3 years of a service contract. I think it's rather expensive, and I think everything is nowadays, but it's they'll let you pay it off each year, $15,000 the first year, approximately 12 the second. I think it's 8 the third. So like a total of $35,000 ish. And but honestly, I think it's rather expensive. If you don't work with them on a service contract, it'll be an as-needed on-call basis. Their minimum charge is $180 per hour. Whether it be on-site visit or by phone call if you don't have a contract. So again, rather expensive. We can keep our fingers crossed and hope that we don't have a whole lot of calls and not go with a service contract. We don't have to go with the full 3 years. We can go with 1 year and see how it goes for the first full year. I'm bad at projecting these kinds of things because you just don't know what's going to happen with technology. And I think Mike's probably in the corner there shaking his head. Yeah, we can't really assume what may happen with a brand new system. So I'm kind of deferring a little bit to Mike in the room there to kind of give us direction and then, see what we should do with the service contract. Mike, you got any comments?
The only thing I think from the standpoint of that being accurate and whatnot, their system is completely proprietary, meaning we don't have access to any of it as far as logins or anything. So that the unfortunate part is if there are issues or problems with certain things, we wouldn't be able to access or handle it. So, I know like Olivia has problems maybe downloading the video. we've helped her in the past, but for the most part, any technical, we can't access any of those systems, so that's kind of the downfall.
Yeah. I wish I could give you a better answer than that, but I mean, my kid on that, he does a lot of work for us over here, but with their system, it is proprietary, so it's not something that we can go out and just have anybody work on.
So, I guess, we're in budget timeframe. If we do decide to do a contract or even if we do the hourly rate, who would be budgeting for that?
Well, it would be likely me, the sheriff's office, and then just to kind of review this again, I just pulled up the accurate numbers. If we went with a 1-year agreement, it would be $12,165 for 1 year. And we'd have to pay that up front. I would almost, I'm leaning towards going 1 year and see how this goes. I know that's still expensive, but when you're talking about a difference of an hourly rate of $180 an hour versus $110 an hour, plus free phone calls, included in that contract, just don't know how much we would spend over a year's period of time based on some of the things that we're experiencing now. Now, I think we'll get a lot of these cleaned up, but again, I'm not a good predictor on technology. I can't tell you where this is going to go from here.
Okay. Any other questions on that item?
I have a similar situation, Dave, that I didn't have put on the agenda, and that's a service contract maintenance contract for the new courts building for the fire control system. They got a quote of $164.50 a month, and that's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, 365 days a year. You can get a hold of them, they'll come and repair anything, and it covers the fire panel and all the alarms and everything. And I know the system is getting a little old here, but whether we want to spend $164.50 a month, I'll let you guys decide that.
Okay. Well, I would say we would take that up. Let's finish up with the security maintenance contract. Are there any other questions for John on that?
Quick question, is there any way we're ever gonna be able to get away from Accurate Controls constantly servicing, or?
No, it's their system. Like mine is a proprietary system, yeah. And they've installed these nationwide. It's not, they're not, I'm not trying to say that they're some subpar company or anything like that. And they've been very, very receptive to our needs here lately. I just can't, I'm not a good predictor of what might happen in the future with this system. And we're gonna need them regardless. So.
Well, we're looking at about $1,000 a month. That's what, 5-6 hours, 1 day a month for somebody to be out, or?
Yeah. I guess I look at it as an insurance policy, Dave. I mean, we can roll the dice and see how it goes the first year without a service contract. And if we end up spending quite a bit of money, maybe we have to roll into a service contract the following year.
No, if we're first spending money now, I'd say it's definitely the first year. But it sounds like we're on the line for many years. And it's like you said, $1,000 a month. It's 1 day a month for a guy to come out, basically.
Okay. And you're really not looking, John, for any decision at this point. It really is a budget issue, it'll be taken care of as part of the budget for next year, right?
Yeah, I just wanted you to be aware of it, and we're gonna, submit it to finance and see what they'd like to do from there. But I wish I could give you a better comfort feeling as to what we should do. And normally I could, but this is kind of out of my area of expertise. I just can tell you what we've been experiencing.
Okay. The next, and I would say the same regarding Greg's comment about the new course fire protection system. that's really a budget type of thing as well. So I don't think we're looking for a decision here, just informational, as it's an option to use that. And we'll recommend that to the budget process. So we're down to, I'm sorry, request for new hire and D. I believe this is our extra body, is that correct?
Do you mind if I skip around?
No, I don't.
Start with last Thursday's meeting with the zoning board. We met on September 3rd. We rehear petition 20P 1553, petition Mark Coster. Sorry, Kathy. All right, I'm bringing it to you. The ZBA voted 1 for and 4 against, recommending the approval of the petition, so that'll be coming before you. Petition 20P 1554, the Alvina Solar finished 7 hearing sessions. Recommendation of 5-0 coming from the zoning board. For the board to vote on it next Thursday.
Okay.
Coming October 1st to the zoning board is petition 20P 1555, and that's the petitioner Stewart Creek Solar. And they're looking at proposing a almost 5,900 acre solar farm in Viola and Wolf Creek Townships.
Okay.
On the agenda, I have amendment to solar ordinance, and I have nothing prepared at this time for that.
Okay.
Moving on to new hire, I'll start with you guys. Proposal.
Let me give a little background before he gives us, but finances are looking at make this position in 2021 budget. We see it as a needed position. With all that's going on right now, finance felt it was important that we act before December 1. So that's the reason for this right now. So the position is as described here. It's really, yeah, you can read. We're looking to have this is an area that has had significant with a change finder for one, which has been a major change for zoning, and with the amount of interest in energy in our county, plus I think some urban stretch. We expect that the zoning office will have extra work or time for the foreseeable future. So this is going to be a budget position for next year, and what we're looking for is to pass it in finance that actually do it early. So
We're sending this to finance, right?
correct. So if you're looking for a motion, that
Move to send to finance.
okay.
And second,
Okay, second, all in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. And
Real quick question for D again, before hearing I have, the one, the Horton one on Palmyra Township. The ZBA found 4-1 against it. Okay, I'll look at the paperwork on it. Then there was a solar one that they 5-1 for that's been ongoing. Was then another one coming? There's another one coming that needs to be sent to the ZBA.
That's being sent. Right.
Correct. Are they in the same areas or are they're totally different?
Yeah, Aldina Solar, the one that's
Right.
going before you Thursday is near Aldina,
Right?
South Dixon Township. And this one in October is Viola.
Okay,
and Willow Creek, so east of Route 39, south of Rochelle, north of Hawthorne.
okay. I have to look at that one. That's almost prime development area, isn't it, or? North of 30, east of 39, railroad track goes through there, that's gonna be,
It's southeast of the one that it's already done.
actually southeast. Yeah, it was the other side of 30. Okay, thank you.
And we have been in contact with Rochelle on the regarding, correct?
Not Rochelle, but just
The-
39.
Great, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, correct,
Yes,
right,
thank
right, okay. You have been,
But we don't want to conflict with what's already in the works.
I'm going, that's where, when he said where,
Yeah,
I'm thinking,
I thought that was maybe what you were.
that's where I'm at, right, you're, we're in the same boat.
Okay, so I think we're ready for an adjournment. Do I have a motion?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody.
Long day.
Yeah. Bless you.
Been here 3 hours.
7:30.